And welcome to the Top Football Predictions game for Game Week 5 review. And with me as always, it's Atul Jani.
Hey there, pundits. How's it going? Let's get
That's
straight
all.
into it.
Let's get straight into it. But when you say how's it going, I'm fighting a cold. I'm fighting people in the predictions game for points. I'm trying to score points. I'm fighting a cold. I need some sympathy, mate.
Oh, all right. Take 2 paracetamols, you'll be fine in the
Oh,
morning anyway.
dear, oh dear. Right, straight into Game Week 5 review. Well, I think it was all about one player. It was all about Ryan, wasn't it?
That's fantastic. I'm telling you, Ryan. Fantastic. Well done, mate. It's really good to see these new people coming in, really studying the form, really doing well, and really pushing for it. I mean, 155 is the season best at the moment. Obviously, we know, Ryan, and no disrespect to you, it can be broken, and it probably will be broken.
Probably by Ryan the way he's going, mate. But
exactly.
No, 155 top posting of scores this season. So that's brilliant work, mate.
Yeah, well done.
Another notable was Gary, who's I don't know. He won the cup last season. It wasn't obviously a fluke because he's really starting to push the foot on the pedal now, isn't he?
Yeah, listen, mate.
Train driver talk, I guess. But
listen, mate. Yeah, Gary. I mean, he started off really shaky last season, and he really finished well with winning the cup. Excellent. And I think again, he's starting to show his form, and he's really conscious about all the points and everything, and he studies the information, and he's quick on the WhatsApp group. So it's really well done, and it's showing on the predictions.
Absolutely, yeah. Some good scores going in as well. Ricardo as well. He's never too far away. He got 70 points. And just looking at the stats here, Tom with 65, who's a debutant as well. But no, some good scores coming in now, and we're starting to see a bit of consistency, not by me, but by some players that are near the top. And we've got the benefit, guys, of just looking at the stats here. I mean, Frank's flying at the top on the current league table, but obviously where the money's at is the overall league table, and that comprises your overall points with the bonus points, doesn't it, mate? But yeah, Frank's flying on that as well with a 75 point lead over Gary and Martin. And Martin, he's scoring well recently in the last couple of game weeks, and he's sitting in joint second as well. So
yeah, I mean, if you look at it, Frank's been really doing really well, really being consistent and challenging me in that sense as well. So it's really good, fantastic, well done. And then you look at Martin. Everyone's talking about the battle at the top with Gary, myself, Frank, Ryan now coming to the forefront. But you look at Martin, he's actually sort of like creeping up slowly but surely, and he's hit a few consistent 50 plus points over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
In the last, I think it was 3 weeks back. It was like 55 points. Then he had like the. What did he have? I think he had 105 points. Then he had a 75 point as well. So form is with him right now. But there's been some really good scores so far.
Yeah, and it has. And I mean, classic Ryan had this fantastic week, which shot him up. Well, I can't remember, but don't quote me on it.
About 12 places.
Yeah,
or something, isn't it?
12 places, and boom, he scored the points in the various games where they needed.
Absolutely.
Goal scorer and
hot shot.
So he nailed
fantastic.
it. So do you know what, guys? Right, I've said this from day one. Mark's been saying it from day one. If you're languishing near the bottom, it really doesn't mean anything. You just take a look at Ryan, and just if you want pundits, study the week before and the week before that. Look at his league position, and you'll notice a difference.
Well, I think it was a Friday night game, wasn't there, which we had, which was the Bournemouth-Brighton one.
Yeah.
Ryan didn't score any points in that one. First game of the Saturday, which was the early game, right? It was a hot shot game. Ryan comes out with 90 points. Man, I didn't even score 90 points in the whole week. He puts it in one shot. So
that's the thing, isn't it?
These games are game changers, aren't they, mate?
Yeah, and as we pointed out, goal scorer as well. He picked. I think he was the only one, wasn't he?
Yeah. Again, he's had an absolute mint week, and well, in actual fact, it leads us onto game week 6 now. We've seen the stats. We know who's top and who's not top. But game week 6, there's some top plays, isn't there? And the first game is straight out of the bag is the West Ham Spurs game.
Yeah, it's going to be.
And that's the first goal scorer as well, isn't it? That game.
Yeah, interesting as well because the cup draw was made Carabao Cup yesterday.
Yeah, you're right.
And obviously it's a reverse rubber in that sense with Spurs playing West Ham at home. But it'd been an interesting tie. West Ham seem to have got their season up and running. Tottenham's home form is a bit of a worry. They seem to be depending quite heavily on their away form. But it'll be interesting, and again, it's a difficult one to call, so the predictions will be pretty tight.
It will be, but it's Spurs West Ham. It's got everything in there, and who knows what can happen. But if you look at the history of the games, the fixtures of of Spurs and West Ham Spurs. Anything can happen. It's like you say, really, just listening to you. Spurs will be relieved they're not at Wembley. West Ham have started slowly, but I think that's going to be a real juicy one. And who knows who's going to score first? That's what we all want for 50 extra points.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, everyone's favourite choice is Harry Kane, and he did pull the goods for quite a lot of people last time round. But you never know. There is quite a few other goal scorers in that as well, but both from West Ham and for Spurs. You know, the likes of Andy Carroll for West Ham. It could also be Ericsson.
Little P, he's there as well. So
Ericsson for Spurs. But yeah, let's move on to a few other games. Not just one game. There's quite a few other tasty games.
Well, I was looking at Man City Palace with Roy Hodgson down at Palace, and Man City looked absolutely sensational last weekend. I mean, what we going for here? 10-0? I just don't know. But I tell you something. Something tells me Hodgson's had a week with them now, and he's been England manager. I know City are great at the moment, but that something tells me that City will win, but it's not going to be an absolute stonking victory, you know.
I like to agree with you, Mark, but I disagree. I think they ran rampant away to Watford, which is not an easy place, and you know, they got the likes of Leroy Sané on your bench, you know. That says a lot. Yeah, on the bench more than anything else. And it seems like the Aguero and Jesus team up is working now.
Absolutely.
But we shall see. You know, it could be a goal-fest game. So pundits always consider the goal-fest situation as well.
Could be. And looking at the points, mate, we've got Swansea Watford. That's worth 90 points. If it was a goal-fest, it's another 100 on top of that. But yeah, just as a regular game, it's worth 90 points. Swansea at home. Well, we know what just happened to Watford, but equally coming away from that, you've got Stoke. Chelsea. Now you've got
it's a slippery one, isn't it?
Zuma's up against Chelsea, isn't he? And Stoke defensively look all right. They're not doing too bad.
I think they're historically, guys. I've always found this a tricky one. Stoke games are very tricky to predict. In fact, you know, where will you get the points from? What will the score be? You know, sometimes you can just predict they'll win 3-0 and they end up losing 1-0. So, you know, you lost points there, whatever the case is. But
one last fixture, mate. I thought of Leicester-Liverpool is the 5:30 Saturday game. Now they just played 2 nights ago, and Leicester did it, and that was with both had weakened teams or not first teams.
Yeah,
Vardy's going to be back. Do you know what? They're 3-1 as a betting man. 3-1 Leicester to win at home against Liverpool. I don't know, you know. I think Leicester have got a good chance in this.
It's a difficult one to call. I mean, if you really look at the sides, there weren't that much real dramatic changes on both sides in the cup competition, you know, and it stands as they're measuring each other out. Liverpool won't take that defeat lying down. They will come at them with a couple of more players to add to the mix. So it'll be interesting to see. I personally found one game which was really interesting, and it's a difficult one to call, is the Burnley and Huddersfield game. That's a game which people start getting that reaction.
Where do you go with that one? I mean, I'm doing my predictions tonight. I always do on a Thursday night, but don't know what I'm going to put for that. That's
It's a good food for thought, pundits. I'll leave you with that one there.
But listen, no matter what your predictions are going to be, get them in nice and early. There is no Friday game. It's all about the Saturday and the Sunday. And then we've got the Monday night. It's Arsenal, West Brom. But yeah, get your predictions in. First goal scorer is going to be important, obviously, as we've already mentioned this weekend. And the hot shot game, which is the Swansea-Watford game. So Game Week 5 review wrapped up. Ryan, you're the man. Absolutely did fantastic on that.
Well done,
Gary, 130 points as well, coming in second. Well done too, with some good form. Martin's looking good as well. Game Week 6. It's all about Game Week 6 now. And then next week we do the live draw of the Predictions Cup group stage in the video. So
that'll be interesting.
That will be interesting. There'll be a couple of videos next week, but yeah, it's all going on. I'll leave AJ as he normally does on our videos with a final thought.
Yeah, well, basically keep plugging away, study the form. I think the new guys are doing really well. Well done. And for those languishing at the bottom, don't give up hope, because you've seen for yourself how Ryan has shot up the table. You know, it's still early days. We're just about embarking on Game Week 6. You know, so a long way to go. 32 game weeks left. Plenty of places to play for, points to be accumulated. Ultimately, you can shoot up and down the table, but you know, everyone's still in the money mix, whether it's cup or not.
Someone once said you've got to be in it to win it.
That's right. So good luck, Monday.
Cheers, boys.